Live. All right. What's up, Facebook and LinkedIn? We're live on Facebook, LinkedIn. We're right now working to get live on Instagram. We're live. All right. What's up, Instagram? What's up, Facebook? What's up, all the things and all the peoples and all the places? We're going to go to comments here. Okay. So we are live in LinkedIn. How y'all doing? We're live in Facebook. How y'all doing? We're live in Instagram. How y'all doing? Drop me a comment. Who are you? Where you're from? Where are you hitting us from? This is going live through 4 different platforms. I got a great guest today. Richie Coletti is going to be joining us in just a second. For those of you guys that don't know, hey, what's up, Miss Tammy? How are you? For those of you guys that don't know, this is the 20-minute showdown. I get another guest on. We go question for question, blow for blow, 3 questions back and forth. And that's how we get this thing done. What episode are we on? 11? Episode 11, 20-minute showdown. What's up, Dallas, Texas? How are you? Hello to the Keto Generation. Drop me your name. Who is that? How are you? How's it been? How's it going? We got our guests here. Let's log on here in just a second. What's up, Jay Chill from Grand Rapids? How are you doing, buddy? And hello to everybody in Facebook world and LinkedIn. If you got a second here, drop me a line. If you're on the replay, drop me the word replay. If you're watching right now, just drop us a quick hello. Tell us where you're in from. What's up, Jeff Davis from Texas? How are you? We're just taking a second here. What's up, Maui? We got Maui. We got Texas. We've got another one from Texas here. We got some Grand Rapids, Michigan. So we're at the 20-minute showdown here, guys, and we're going to go blow for blow with an entrepreneur from Florida here. Hang on, we're going to check in with him just a second. Go ahead. Why don't we give him, we're going to give him a call on the phone. We're having some tech issues as only we can every week. Let's see what's going on. Calling you, brother. Hello, Instagram. How are you guys?
Hey, how do I ask for to get in?
Oh, okay. So are you on my live right now?
I am on the live, yeah.
All right. Let me see if I can add you. If it's not allowing you to add me, you have no requests. I can't see the way you see it. So invite to join. Let me try that. No, that's a different type of invite to join. She's not going to have him. Okay. You should show if you're in my live right now, brother. Are you looking at my Instagram live?
Instagram live, yeah.
Okay. It should. I don't show you on. Do you show him on there?
Yeah.
There he is. How do I get in? How do I get in? All right. Add as moderator. I'm adding you. Here we go. Confirm. Hanging up on you, buddy. You should be good. Right. Okay, guys. Here we go. Episode 11 and 20-minute showdown.
I'm here.
I'm here. Facebook. How are you? What's up, IG? What's up, LinkedIn? 20-minute showdown. Here's how this works. I get 3 questions back and forth with our guest entrepreneur. It says you are added to the live video. Remove it. You're a moderator. Oh, moderator. It's different than live video. Shit. Remove from live video. Remove as moderator. Oh. What is? So you don't see anywhere, Richie, where you can just add me. Request. It should be a request. Request to be a speaker. Why don't you go on your phone and see what it looks like from your phone? What's up, Italy? What's up, Portugal? How are you? What's up, Temecula? Hey, gang. How are you guys? Give us a second here to get live with our guest. Let me see your phone. Okay.
Click this request.
So, Richie, it should just pop up request to join as one of your
bottom left.
And it should just say request to join. Maybe log off and back into your Instagram. See where it says request to join? It should allow you to do that. Send a request to be in Nick Sarnicola's live video.
Yep. All right. We'll try that again.
Hit share, by the way, see what happens. While we're doing this, feel free, guys. Hit me up with what's up? How are you? Cayenne Group. Great to see you. Hit me with any question, anything you want to talk about while we're figuring out our tech issues with our guests to log on here. I'd love to talk about anything you guys want to talk about while we're buying a couple minutes here. So here we go. It's working because we have somebody else that just requested to join. Richie. So maybe you don't have the most up-to-date version of IG, which could be possible as well. So it should allow you right when you log in. You just hit request to join.
I'm on.
Everybody else, tell me what's cracking. What's going on? Someone asked me a question.
I'm on Facebook now.
We'll have a quick little dialogue on anything you guys want to talk about. All right, I'll actually put you. Here's what I'm going to do with you guys right now. What's the best and latest moneymaker? Well, the number one trends right now are obviously AI. Artificial intelligence, figuring out how to apply it into your life, into your business, figuring out how to apply AI into language, into contracts, into marketing, into scripting. That right there is the quickest, simplest tip I can give you for what you should be doing to maximize and monetize the greatest trends. Obviously, blockchain, solar, these are three of the biggest trends out there. I'm touching all three in different ways. So I hope that answered your question, Miss Tammy. Here's a quick exercise for you guys. I had my whole company today. We kicked off today on Growth Wednesday with a series of questions and comments that I asked everybody. So I'm going to ask you guys these same ones, and you guys can answer these questions as you guys would like. So
hey, I'm on Facebook now.
Still can't get in. I see you, Richie. We just called you from. There we go. So here's an exercise. I'm gonna have you guys all do it right now. Everyone grab you can write it in the comments. Here we go. Your whole lifetime. Tell me one dream.
I'm gonna go back to
anytime in your lifetime. Go ahead and light it up in your comments.
Now I can't even find Nick's live on there. Here we go.
What's one dream, one big thing you want to accomplish?
Yep, I got it here.
Go ahead and light up the comments. Here's the
shows
second.
Me as a moderator.
In the next 5 years, what's one goal? One goal in the next 5 years. What's one goal?
Request to join.
One goal in the next 5 years. So one dream in the comments.
Yep. You can't join a live video until you stop moderating.
One goal in the next 5 years. Tell me one person you're going to help or organization you're going to help this year. One organization you're going to help this year.
I'm going to take him off as a moderator. Then he can join.
Okay, we can take him off as a moderator. Okay. We shall. 1 second, y'all. I got to find him. There we go. Richie, remove as moderator. There we go. You've been removed as moderator. Okay. So there's another dream. There we go. Thank you for sharing. Own real estate. Good. Now give me a 5-year goal, a lifetime dream, a 5-year goal, one group or person you're going to help this year. Hey, we got our guest. 1 second.
I'm here.
Boom. Accepting now. Should be here in a second. Travel to Thailand. Good. Tell me one thing you're grateful for. One thing you're grateful for. And one person you want to forgive or ask for forgiveness from. That was an exercise we did today. I'm going to recap it to you and then introduce you to our guest. One dream, one 5-year goal, one person or organization you're going to help this year, one thing you're thankful for, grateful for, one person that you're going to send love to today that you haven't told you've cared about in a long time. And then lastly, one person you're going to forgive or ask for forgiveness from. That's actually what we did this morning with our entire company. So I challenge all of you guys to do it as well. So we got some good comments that came in here, different goals that came in, and we have got our guest. What's up, Richie Coletti? How are you, brother? How you feeling?
What's going on, Nick? I'm over the stress of not being able to get on. That's good.
Don't worry about that. No stress, brother. No stress. So adjust your phone down a little bit so we can get to a little bit more of your beautiful face there. There we go. And sending love to my dad today. Beautiful. That was a great one. Sending love to my sister. This is good. I'm glad we started this way. I don't know why I didn't think about this in the first few minutes. I was a little slow today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 11 of the 20-Minute Showdown. The 20-Minute Showdown is each week I bring in a guest entrepreneur. We hear their story briefly, tell you mine. We do 3 questions back and forth. He or she doesn't know what I'm saying. I don't know what asking. I don't know what they're asking. And away we go. That's how the 20-minute showdown works. It's just a lot of fun. We never know what's going to happen. And so I've got a great guest here. I've had a chance to know for upwards of the last 5 years. This guy's got a motor. Man, he just runs and he's moving. He makes stuff happen. He's a little tornado, and it just attracts business and business partners and sales. And I've just been grateful to work with him very closely over the last year. So let's kick it to Mr. Richie Coletti to give us his quick story in the first 90 seconds here, so you guys get a chance to know him. Richie, over to you.
Hey, thanks for having me out here, Nick. I really appreciate it. So like Nick said, I am an entrepreneur. I started at a very young age, grew up in New York, moved to Florida as a kid, grew up broke and poor. So like ever since I had my first bike, I got into sales. I started selling my bike, buying other bikes, and then I started selling candy in school and did all kinds of different entrepreneurial things as I grew up. Went into the restaurant business, and then found my way into roofing. And then I kind of found that as to be a passion of mine since a young age. I liked heights. I liked being on different jobs every day. I liked putting the most important part of somebody's house on. That led me I've been in the roofing industry now for about 28 years now. I started my own company probably about 7 or 8 years ago. I had some struggles in that in the beginning. I learned a lot. I had my downs, I had my ups. I'm back in the up part now, and been rich and I've been poor, and rich is way better. I like that.
And since your name is Rich, that's actually super appropriate. So
yeah.
The great news is even when you're poor, you'll always be rich.
Yeah. And people who say that money can't buy you happiness are obviously broke. So really that's it really. Just a long history of roofing and businesses and different types of I like farming and other types of stuff like that. So
nice. And you're a dad.
I am a dad. I have 2 kids. I got a Caden and a Mason, a 7 and a 13-year-old. A Caden and a Mason.
Your boys are very smart. I love hanging out with them. Well, thank you for being on today, guys. Let me tell you my quick story. From Michigan originally, got introduced to the world of entrepreneurship, direct sales networking at 18, fell in love with it, made my first $1 million at 25. At 26, the company I was a part of went out of business. I bought the assets of that company, created a company called Visalis. Visalis had a 15-year run, a couple billion in sales, 19 countries, 3.5 million customers. We are the authors, creators, and founders of challenge-based marketing. We are the founders of Body by Vi, the 90-day challenge, and one of the co-founders of that. Most recently, the company was absorbed by a larger company called Prove It. My partner stayed on to be the president of North America. And while I support and participate with Prove It, I've also gone on to create some traditional businesses, one of which is a sales accelerator, of which one division is focused on solar. And I've been really excited and happy to focus on that journey. So we're going to dive in today. I've got my first question for Richie Coletti. So Richie, when or how or what's the story around, or anything that you want to share regarding this, how, when, or what's the story around, did you know that you were different from everyone else out there? Maybe you were a kid, maybe something transpired, maybe you did something and you're like, wow, I'm just different. How did you know that your path was different, your way you thought was different, that you were just different than the other kids or teenagers out there?
Well, that's a really good question. And I always knew I was different because my mom always said I was special. There was, and then I had people in school that told me I was special too, but I think they meant short bus special. But no, I knew from a young age that there was something different than the way I was wired. I mean, really because I knew I was very defiant in school. I wasn't that type of person to fall in line and be on a hamster wheel ever. I always went and made my own path. Even as a young age, I was always, everybody else was on the playground over here and I was on the playground by myself over here doing some other stuff, trying to figure out how I was going to buy some candy or I just always knew that there was something different about me. And then, I had a couple couple of teachers and guidance counselors that basically, they kind of brought it to my attention that there was something unique about me. So it did start at a young age. I would say I started noticing this stuff at probably about 9, 10 years old, 11 years old. That's when I kind of started doing things differently than everybody else, which they thought was obviously a problem in school and that I probably should have been on some kind of drugs or whatever. But gladly, my parents declined to have me put on any kind of drugs and let me utilize my God-given talents, I guess.
Let that motor, let that brain that's firing create results. I love this because there's so many people out there that probably went through the similar thing that you went through as a kid, that, maybe their teachers or whatever were, put them in a bucket, maybe a bucket of trouble or a bucket of, you're not the same, or a bucket of this, this kid's a bad influence, or this, or it could just be, he's behind or whatever. And, I think a lot of people relate to that now. The profiles, a bunch of people with kids that, maybe they're different because they're entrepreneurial. Maybe they're different because they're leaders. Maybe they're different because they recognize they create solutions different ways than traditional education. So what a great answer. How old were you, by the way, when you said you kind of started recognizing you were good at sales or even entrepreneurship? Was that the same time?
It was, roughly about the same time. I mean, 9, 10 years old. I mean, I was bringing candy to school, taking my lunch money, buying candy on the way to school. Cause we used to walk to school back then, we used to walk 2-3 miles to get there. So we'd stop and they had, little Johnny apple seeds and all these little lemon heads, and they were 25 cents a box. And I would buy a couple boxes of those and sell them for $1 because, supply and demand, you couldn't get them in school. So I would end up with everybody's lunch money every day, and that was my first entrepreneurial experience.
What a great story. There's only 2 ways to end up with somebody else's lunch money. And Richie gave you the way, the American way, the way of entrepreneurship.
And the funny thing is I did get in trouble for that too. And my friend's mom came to the school, and we needed to get a business license, She said, I'll get him a business license if you let him sell candy. She wanted to keep that entrepreneurial spirit in me and my buddy, so that's pretty cool.
Well, I love it. Thank you for sharing. I'm ready. What's your first question for me, brother?
I'd say, what inspired you to start your own business, and how did you identify the market gap you wanted to fill? I know you have several businesses, so let's talk currently on possibly solar.
Okay, great. So the current business model that I have, and again, as you shared, I've got multiple business models, multiple income streams, and I always have. But I've recently started, a new sales organization in and around the solar marketplace, and it's a couple answers to it. Number one is I got a really interesting education from several individuals that I used to lead who went into the industry and then would call and just check in. And there were so many of them calling me, I just was really quickly educated. So I had third-party education from people that I was close to. 2 is the market trends, just, watching the movement of what's happening. And specifically, a lot of people what do you mean? Like a lot of people going solar? Well, yeah, that's a movement. You mean like the government passing this law or that law? Well, what if the next party reverses it? Yeah, that's part of it. But what I mean is your monopoly power company. Your monopoly power company is all going solar. They're all building solar farms so that they can sell you solar at a premium rate. And right now there's a window of time where you can be independent of them. And I want to be a part, of that movement. So I think it's just, I paid attention to several different market trends, government, world movement, the consumer itself, but also when one of the largest monopolies, maybe the largest monopoly of anything we do in America today, which is your power company, when they're all secretly behind the scenes making the change so they can sell it back to you, that was a huge green light to me, saying, "Hey, we got to make a decision here and get in the game."
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad I asked that question because I didn't even think of it in that aspect. I mean, I clearly seen the benefits of it, but I didn't think of it as the power companies, the ones driving the force. That's great.
Sure. They're spending billions of dollars so they can gobble up all the tax credits so they can charge a premium to something a regular consumer can do for themselves, that they can get the tax credits and they can lock in their price and never have to deal with the power company. That's why I'm in the industry, because it's let me relate it to this. You talked about when you were younger, the Johnny Appleseeds, when you said it, by the way, give me, the sour lemons that it triggered my taste buds. But you remember when we had landlines and there was the Bell companies?
Yeah.
How are the Bell companies doing now? Where are the Bell companies at?
They're gone.
They're gone. Everybody has one of these,
Yep.
right? This is to landlines what solar is to utility companies, and the utility companies know it. So they're sprinting to figure out how to step in front of it, because there's a world where utility companies could possibly be a thing of the past the way we know it today. And a lot of you are like, no, hell no. Well, guess what? We said the same thing about all the Bell companies that had the landlines, right?
Yeah.
Who has a landline now? So great question. Thank you for asking. Let's jump to a second question I've got for you. My second question is for you is, was there ever a point where you felt like throwing in the towel and quitting as an entrepreneur? And if so, how did you overcome that? How did you pick yourself back up? And if not, how are you wired so differently that's never transpired for you?
That is an awesome question. Yeah. So I do get that, every entrepreneur comes up and faces difficulties all the time. I mean, it's pretty much, that's what it's all about. And it's easy to want to quit. And I do get those times where it does happen. I wish I was immune to it. I wish I was just this absolute beast where I didn't care and nothing fazed me. But there's times where, you got 6, 7 problems deep in a day, and, you're just like, but the reality of the situation is those problems aren't going to go away if I say I want to quit. So I have to handle them either way. So what I do is I take the elephant analogy, and how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? I focus on the biggest problem I have at hand, and I start to tackle that problem. All the other people, I kind of pacify them as best as I can to try to keep them quiet, or do whatever I can, assign somebody else to it. And I take the biggest problem, then move next and next and next. And that's kind of how I have to handle the situations. And I know at the end of the day, it sounds great to me when I'm in the middle of a struggle and I say something like, I'm done with this. I just want to throw up my hands. I want to quit. I want to walk away, but I don't quit. I reset. I just reset. Well, sometimes I just, you just have to say, screw it, take a nap and get up and start over again. And, maybe just a nap and a sandwich, and that'll help you out. And then you just muscle through whatever it is. And then when you get to the other side of it, it's always such a, I always think about what's going to happen when I get done solving all these problems. It's a great breakthrough for me. And that's kind of what I, started to thrive on now, is like, now I wake up in the morning, like almost like a firefighter ready for a fire to happen. I want to go, what do you got for me today? Let's go solve some problems, it's kind of like, it kind of gets to be a high. Now I'm kind of, in training some people to be leaders underneath me, and hoping that, a lot of them will start to be able to handle a lot of the problems for me. And that's what's happening. It's getting less and less as an entrepreneur. I'm training other leaders below me to solve those problems. But I wish I was one of those people. I know people like that just, it doesn't faze them. They're just like, it is what it is, fix it and go. That's not me. I think about it. I'm passionate about it. So,
well, you referenced 2 things in there that I thought were really important. Number one, should anyone who's an entrepreneur, should they expect that problems are, that they're a given? It's not, should they expect that there's always going to be some problem to solve, and they shouldn't be surprised by that?
If you don't have problems, you're probably in the wrong business. I mean, there's going to be problems no matter what you're doing. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. So yeah, you should expect that. I mean, things are going to happen. The main problem with business is that you have to deal with people. You have to have people working with you, and you have to deal with people. Your customers are people. if I find a business that I can do by myself where I don't have to deal with anybody and I can make the money I want, I'm all in, but I haven't figured it out yet. And I've been looking, and if I'll come back and let you guys know if there's something, but you have to deal with people. And anytime you're dealing with people, you're going to have problems. Not everybody's going to be perfect and do what they're supposed to do. And there's going to be people dropping the ball, and there's going to be mistakes being made. And, you got to let people make mistakes in order to grow. I mean, you can't micromanage everybody to the point where they're so scared to do anything that they don't do anything, and you won't grow. You have to give people the opportunity to fail, so that way they can grow, you can grow, and the business grows.
You mentioned something I was going to ask him, but you actually said it, which is you're like, hey, I get a high from it now, which is, would you say that you almost get excited to solve the problems that are presented to you on a daily basis? Is that part of kind of in your DNA?
It is. I mean, sometimes it's annoying. Like if I got stuff I got to do, you know what I mean? But when I'm in it, when I get done solving a problem, hold on one second there. When I get done solving a problem, I mean, I feel good. It's a natural high for me. So I do, it's not that I look forward to problems. I don't, but when they come up, I know that I have a solution, and it makes me feel good to be able to solve those problems and teach others how to solve.
Problem solvers get paid. Problem solvers get
big paychecks
paid
for solving big problems. That's what Leo
always paid
says.
to solve problems. What's up, C. Anthony Harris? How are you, buddy? Let's get you on here next week for the 20-minute showdown. All right, Richie, hit me with question number 2.
All right, let's see. I had to write them down because I can't memorize everything like you. All right. I think I know this one. Can you share a time of when you faced a significant challenge in your business, and how did you overcome it? I've heard you talk about this before, but I think it's a good topic.
So I can think of many times where I've faced significant challenges in my business. That's usually at least a weekly thing. Well, significant problems, probably a monthly thing, right? Probably a monthly thing. So for me, what I do is I figure out, I try not to react. So let's go through some process here. Okay, there's a significant problem that you gotta face, that you're facing as a business owner. It's a big one you gotta tackle. Number one is I try not to react at all to it with any level of emotion. Sometimes the small stuff I might react with emotion, but the big stuff I don't. And I don't for multiple reasons. Number one is just as a leader, I know I got to remain calm. I know I got to think clearly. I know I got to have, the ability to process correctly. But also everyone around you in your business, your business partners, your team, your customers, your partner relationships in business, not like your actual business partners, but other vertical partners, let's say, and then your own family. If they can sense any type of weakness in you, the leader, if they can sense that you have weakness about the problem, it will send a ripple effect through everybody. People will start to draw back. People will start to sell less. People will start to doubt. People will start to disengage. So they've got to know that despite whatever the problem is, that you are, you're unfazed by whatever that problem may be. So that's number one, is you got to make sure that you have got your head on straight emotionally for whatever that problem is. Number two, you got to figure out who it needs to be a part of solving that problem. Who is the board to solve the problem? Is it people in your company? Is it people in your team? Is it people that you used to work with? Is it competitors? Is it people that are mentors, right? You got to create a collection of bodies that are going to help you. These are advisors, right? And because every problem's different, every group of advisors is going to be different. What's up, Tatiana? What's up, Mermaid Realtor? Every group of advisors should be different because every problem is different. And you shouldn't just, especially with major problems, you shouldn't just go blast out there and start trying to solve these major problems without consulting advisors to you, whether that's legal, whether that's finance, whether that's a friend that's in another industry. What did you do? So number two is I seek counsel. Number one is I make sure I'm completely unfazed Number 2 is I seek counsel. Number 3 is I come up with multiple plans for the problem. Say, okay, option A, option B, option C. And then the 4th thing is I do is I go quickly and swiftly into execution of solving the problem. So that's a very practical guide of what I do. If I reverse engineer what I do, if it's a massive problem, that I might fly to go meet some people to talk through the strategy. I might, depending on how many hours, days, weeks, or months I have, if it's a life decision, I may go to a really important place that I make life decisions and, talk to the universe about this problem and make sure I'm assessing it correctly. So these are all little strategies and hacks that I implement personally when I'm facing a big problem.
That's awesome. I can't find my little fire buttons, but I don't want to push anything because I'll mess up my stream. But that's some golden nuggets right there. I can't wait to go back. I tried to take notes as fast as I could. That's awesome, Nick. That's consulting with advisors on major problems. That's a big.
You have to, man. Who's your counsel, guys? Who's your counsel? So let me go to a third question to Richie. We've got a lot of budding entrepreneurs on here. I see a lot of names of first-time entrepreneurs. I see some top sales professionals on here. I see some great entrepreneurs on here that have been doing it for years. What would you say for the more startup entrepreneur or sales professional, one that's working their ass off to see success but hasn't happened yet? What would you say are the 3 top characteristics that you've looked to for yourself that's always created you success, as you always go to this, and this internally to make sure that you're always going to make it? What are your 3 go-to characteristics?
Grit, tenacity. Like you just got to keep on going. You got to set a goal, write your goal down, and then try to go after that goal with everything you got and stay consistent. Consistency and persistency. Those are,
you're the third person in a row that said grit. You're the third. I've asked this question to 3 people in a row, and the first one for all 3 of the people are grit. That's a great one. I'm posting that now into the Facebook thread there. Okay, give me a second one.
Just consistent and persistent. Just stay on it. Don't let the little things. When things go wrong, don't go with it. That's a main thing, especially getting started. It's when you're early on in business or getting anything started, things will go wrong and you just can't go with it, meaning, don't let it affect you. And I think you kind of touched on a lot of this with your question there too, is just don't let it affect you. Don't let anybody see you sweating. I'm going to
classify that. Can I classify that as emotional intelligence? Is that a fair statement to say, when shit is going down around you, you don't let it impact you. You keep your head on straight.
Yeah. You got to keep your head on straight and just keep on keeping on. Third, I don't know. You got persistence and keeping your head on straight and grit.
I might even separate grit and persistence by definition. So you actually did in your language. Grittiness is, I think persistence is keep going no matter what. Would you consider grittiness to be the same thing? Like I see grittiness as you're a grinder, you're a problem solver, you're
getting down and dirty and making it happen, figuring out what you have to do, pulling all your resources, think outside the box. Those are the kind of things I think of, because everything's not just plain and simple. When you're an entrepreneur and you're starting a business, sometimes you got to think outside the box and you got to bring outside resources in to make things happen for you. You got to reach out and try to figure out what you have to do, and you got to be resourceful. So I may be mixing a few of them all together there, but that's kind of what I do is I use my resources. You don't have to be the smartest guy in a room, and you gotta, one of the things, is you can't wear all the hats. And that's the biggest problem I faced as an early entrepreneur was I was the one that had to do everything or it didn't get done right. And that's the biggest downfall that I had, which stunted my growth for my early on times of being in business is I felt like I was the only one, and not being able to pass the torch to other people. So that's kind of, going with saying you don't have to be the smartest person in the room, and passing some of those tasks off to other people. And that's a major part of how I grew recently in the last couple of years, was I was able to finally release that stuff and say, hey, there's going to be people that are better than me at stuff, and I just have to let them do their job.
I've heard four good ones. I heard 5 good ones. I'm going to recap them for everybody. Here's 5 great success tips and characteristics from Richie here. He said grit, perseverance, emotional intelligence, resourcefulness, and delegation. Those are the 5 that, man, if you're taking notes, jot those 5 down. Again, he said grit, perseverance, emotional intelligence, resourcefulness, and number 5 was delegation. Those were beautifully stated. Thank you for sharing. And I'm ready for my last question, brother. You hit me with the juice. What do you got for me?
By the way, Nick, that was almost as good as putting all that stuff into ChatGPT for a summary, and then you just spit it right out. That's I might know who's behind
it's Chat NICK. You don't have ChatGPT, but you can
throw
chat
right
Nick.
into Chat Nick. I love
Chat
it.
Nick.
All right. So how do you stay innovative and adapt to changing market conditions to ensure the longevity of your business?
Oh, okay. That's a great question. That's a high level question. So how do I stay innovative and adapt to change? I think number 1 is you have to go up to your core philosophies. And if one of your core philosophies is change, the only thing constant is change, then you're never surprised by change, right? So it's in your DNA. So some people that have trouble adapting, people that have trouble making the shifts, are people that have trouble accepting that change is the most normal thing, that change is the only guarantee, and that change is required. So because I accept that as a truth, it's a truth for myself, it kind of sits on top of you kind of have 5 to 10 core beliefs, philosophies, and values that all sit atop of everything. It's just in my DNA. So I don't have to be conscious of adaptation. I don't have to be conscious of change because I'm open and receiving it at all times, because it's in my receptors at all times, it's in my DNA. So I think number 1 is you have to accept that change, adaptation, all of that is it's not only constant, but it's increasing at a rate that's unbelievable, right? So then from there, I build a team of people that are adaptive. I have an adaptive team. My team knows that shit might change at any moment, and you got to be ready, and you got to be able to respond and react. It doesn't matter what's thrown at us. Doesn't matter what we believe should be the system, we believe should be the process. My crew that is in my team is it's part of my hiring process. Is this person an adaptive person? That way, as things come at us, we're reacting correctly and quickly. Number 3 is intelligent. You got to have intelligent people, because intelligent people are reading. Intelligent people are up to speed on what's happening in the marketplace. Intelligent people are diving in to new technology, right? So these are things that I do. I have a circle of people that don't work for me or work with me, that I also plug into. In this circle of people, they're all intelligent, and they're all resourceful, and they're all adaptive, and that keeps me on my toes, keeps me fresh, and I'm learning from them. I'm learning from them about how to maximize artificial intelligence. I'm learning from them about how blockchain's changing all things having to do with contracts. I'm learning from them as to, you get the idea. So those are a couple of my answers to that, and hopefully I answered the question in the way that you asked.
No, that's great. Yeah, and the number three is get a mastermind. And I think that every business owner should have a mastermind. I'm in several, 3 or 4 different types of mastermind groups where we can go share our ideas, and we kind of sometimes call a board of directors. We kind of express some of our ideas of up and coming things that we want to do, and kind of get feedback from other people who are, obviously in a different space than us, but just get the feedback. That's awesome. Good stuff.
All right. Well, man, that's 3 each way. Real quick, just so everyone can be inspired. What's your goal for how much you're going to do in sales this year, and how much is that as an increase over last year?
This year, my goal is to do $15 million in revenue, and last year I did last year I did 6.5. I'm sorry. So it'll be just over double.
200+% making the run to 15 million in top line revenue. Richie, I always love speaking with you, connecting with you. You always have great energy. You're always solution focused. You're always about what's next. And where can everybody find you? Where can this crew find you?
Type in Richie Coletti in Facebook, YouTube, Instagram is Real Richie Coletti. Somebody tried to use a Richie Coletti Instagram for some reason. I don't know why, but Real Richie Coletti on Instagram. So,
well, guys, you can find me at Nick's Linktree, nickslinktree.com. nickslinktree.com. That'll give you my link tree to every place that you can find access. This has been episode 11 of the 20-Minute Showdown. Richie Coletti, building a kick-ass business out here in Florida. Thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to grab the hot pieces of this and cut it up into reels and kick it out to the rest of the world. If you're watching us on replay, hit replay. Do me a favor, y'all. Share this out to everyone you can share it to if it was useful. Have a great kick-ass week, everybody. We're officially wrapped. Episode 11. We're done.
Peace out, guys. Thanks, Nick.